Welcome to the Publishing Performance Show, the podcast that helps self-published authors turn their passion into a profit. Now, I'm your host, Teddy Smith, and if you're serious about building a sustainable business, then you're in the right place. Every week, I sit down with successful authors, industry experts, and publishing professionals who share their exact strategies they use right now to how they've grown their business, grow their readership, increase their book sales, and essentially to make a bit more money. Now, whether you're just starting out or you're looking to scale your existing publishing business, you'll walk away from every episode with actionable insights you can implement immediately. Now, if you're new here, it would really help me out if you could subscribe either on Apple or Spotify or YouTube or wherever you are. Just simply hit the subscribe button. It really helps the show to get more reach, which means we can get better guests for you and we can help you out in more ways. All right, let's dive into this episode. Hi everyone and welcome to the Publishing Performance Show. Today I'm really happy to be joined by Madeline Shue, who is the publishing lead at ElevenLabs. So thanks for joining, Madeline.
Thanks, Teddy. Great to see you. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So why don't you just give us a bit of an overview of what you do and what ElevenLabs does before we get into it?
Yeah, awesome. So for those of you who aren't familiar with ElevenLabs is an AI audio platform. And so we build AI audio models, so text-to-speech models, speech-to-text models, music, sound effects, anything touching audio innovation. We build those models. We have a research team who does all that in-house. And we build lots of products, leveraging those models and bring those to consumers and creators and enterprises all over the world. So we were founded in 2022, based in London, now have offices all over the world. I'm based in New York. We've got about 400 employees or so. And yeah, so it's exciting. And actually, it's interesting. So one of the kind of earliest use cases of ElevenLabs when the company was first started back in 2022 was, at the time, it was just like a little text box, and you could upload maybe 250 words or something like that and have it read back to you in very realistic sounding AI voices. And so a couple of authors kind of caught on to this. And many of them, these independent authors, had for many years kind of been kept out of audio as audio started to rise as a very popular format. Of course, it's expensive. It's hard to access. For most authors, it's really hard to get an audiobook. And actually, I think maybe 90% of books published don't have an audiobook counterpart.
Yeah.
And so there were a bunch of authors who started recognizing that this tool could be really powerful to help them create audiobooks and reach listeners and readers through audio. And so there was one author who would actually come on, and at the time it was only 250 words that you could put in. And so he took an entire manuscript length book and would upload it kind of 250 words by 250 words and download the MP3 files so that he could have a fully produced audiobook. So he was one of the first, I think, 10 beta testers, still very close with the company today. He's great. So over time, it really caught on and has been used by thousands and thousands of independent authors to produce lots of audiobooks and now publishers as well. And so I, at ElevenLabs, work on everything related to authors and publishers and audiobooks, and helping anyone who has a great story and who maybe before ElevenLabs and before AI audio might not have had the resources or ability to reach global audiences in any language to share their story in audio form. I work with them to help them do that and to leverage our products, our audiobook products specifically, and our consumer audiobook app, 11 Reader, to share their stories globally in audio. Yeah, so that's my role here. It spans lots of different things. And yeah, I love books and audiobooks. And so it's really fun to be able to work on.
Yeah, definitely. I think audiobooks was one of the first use cases of ElevenLabs to really come out and to stand out. I think, it was one of the first times people thought, okay, this is actually going to be quite useful.
Yeah, definitely. It was kind of one of the first very obvious use cases. And now we do lots of things in addition to audiobooks, but continue to be really invested in the audiobook use case and building out a product specific to authors and publishers and helping them kind of go from manuscript to in pre-production, the full audio production process, post-production and distribution all in one hub through ElevenLabs.
Yeah. One of the things I was joking with you about before was I created a video about how to make an audiobook with ElevenLabs. And then literally the day afterwards, 11 Creative sort of absorbed it all and it all changed. So my video became redundant straight away.
Yeah.
it showed how fast
We'll have to do
AI
that
was
later.
moving. But what do you think it is that's happened in the last, or maybe 12 months, that's allowed AI to become more viable for creating audiobooks? Like what's the change that's happened, do you think?
Yeah, so I think the most fundamental one is just the quality of the models has really improved. We've now gotten to a point where for many books, you can listen to a book with ElevenLabs voices, and it's pretty difficult to tell if it's a human narrator or AI narration. And so, of course, that's not the case for all books. If there's, kind of very complex emotion or things that need to be conveyed that the AI still can't quite do. But for many books, it's really hard actually to tell the difference. And so you can get a very high quality book produced just leveraging ElevenLabs today. And I think once people started to realize over the last year that AI voices didn't mean robotic text to speech that you might think of when you think of Siri or Amazon Alexa from 5 years ago, that actually AI voice and AI audio, it means something totally different. I think that you started to see a bit of a shift, and then adoption has become over the last year. We've seen definitely more mainstream, and you're starting to see more audiobooks showing up on lots of different platforms that have been created using ElevenLabs.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing that changed when I made that video was the upload process and using 11 Creative to manage the whole process, basically. So if
Yeah.
anyone has previously done a audiobook with ElevenLabs, what's different about how they would do it now? Like, how does that 11 Creative process look differently to what the previous process looked like?
Yeah. So if you previously were interested in creating an audiobook with ElevenLabs, you had a couple different options and they were in different places all across the ElevenLabs suite of products. So you could go on to ElevenLabs to our studio product and you could create an audiobook there. You could upload your manuscript and turn it into an audiobook. And then you could download it and you could put it on different platforms. You could share it on 11 Reader, which is our consumer platform, but the process there was quite disjointed. Or you could go straight to 11 Reader and you could upload your ebook and you could share that ebook on 11 Reader with streamed dynamic narration on the end user's device. And it was totally free for authors. And so what we did was we found that was kind of complex for users to figure out where to go and what fit their needs, and their books would be posted in different places. And so we consolidated all of it in a new audiobooks tab within 11 Creative, which is ElevenLabs suite of products specific to creators and anyone doing creative use cases. And so the idea with the audiobooks tab is anyone who's looking to create an audiobook, it's in one place. You go to the audiobooks tab in 11 Creative, and we now are building that specifically and continue our roadmap there is completely dedicated to authors and publishers. And so as ElevenLabs continues to expand with different use cases, we now in the creative platform offer video and image models. And so lots of kind of a whole wide range of things for creators. The audiobooks tab is the place that's audiobook specific, and it's a one-stop shop and kind of central hub for everything from uploading your manuscript, preparing it for narration, selecting voices, casting characters, all the way through to distribution on 11 Reader, and then also on Spotify and through in audio and some of these other distribution partnerships that we have that make it really easy to then share your audiobook with the world.
We're going to do distribution at the end. I've got some questions about making the book first.
Yeah.
Say I'm an author and I've already got the manuscript ready. What does that process look like? What's the workflow look like from getting it from, let's start with how do you get it started?
Yeah. So just to kick things off first. So as an author, you have two options. The first is you can upload your ebook or your manuscript directly to 11 Reader, and you can stream it on 11 Reader. This is our consumer audiobook app with something called dynamic narration. And so this is completely free to you. What the end user experience looks like is the consumer would download the 11 Reader app and they can stream your ebook or your manuscript with audio. And they can select from, at this point, it's like 500 different voices that are on the 11 Reader app that they want to listen to your audiobook with.
So the listener chooses who reads it.
Exactly. Yeah. The listener chooses who reads it. And we've got some iconic voices on there as well. So the listener could have Michael Caine read the audiobook to them, or Burt Reynolds, or any of the voices from the ElevenLabs library that are on the app. And these are some of the highest quality voices that we have available in the broader ElevenLabs library, are available on 11 Reader. And so that's option one. It's totally free. And so all it really is, it takes about 5 minutes. You just upload your ebook. You can make any text edits, but you're not generating any audio on the 11 Creative platform. And then you're uploading it straight away to 11 Reader. You're filling out your metadata. And then anytime it's streamed, or purchased directly, you're either earning from the stream if you've included it in our subscription, or you're earning directly from a la carte sales if you've set a price to list it out directly. And so it's a great way for authors who, they maybe don't want to pay to upload, to create an audiobook. They want a completely free, sub 10-minute, 5-minute option to get all of their books available in audio. This is a great option for them. If, say, you want a bit more creative control, you want to actually go through and listen to the full production and direct it yourself, find specific areas where you want certain pronunciations or tone, or, you want to select the voice and have more control over the listen and experience for listeners. You can do that within the 11 Creative platform, and you can go through and perfect the full output of your audiobook. And then from there, because you've used ElevenLabs credits to generate the audio, you're able to download it, you're able to distribute it on other platforms, and you're also able to put it on 11 Reader. So those are the two distinctions. First is dynamic narration. The second is creating an original audiobook. And you can go back and forth within the same manuscript for the two. So if you've uploaded it just to 11 Reader with dynamic narration, and then later you decide, actually, I want to go through and really perfect this audiobook, you can go back to the manuscript and edit it entirely, and then upload it wherever you'd like.
How much editing do you typically see, say, just on average, a standard size book? How much editing do you typically see the authors having to do? Because when I did mine, I sort of listened through the chapters and put in some pauses. And I think that there wasn't that much more than that, but how much editing do you see people having to do?
Yeah, it really runs the gamut on the author and their, I guess I would say, like, excitement about really kind of delving into the audio process. So on the one hand, we have authors who might upload it. They'll go through, set some pronunciations that they want to ensure are corrected throughout the text. And, they'll maybe go through and listen to everything, add some pauses in some places. And so maybe for a 10-hour audiobook, it might take them 10 hours of work if they're kind of going through and listening to everything. And there's work to be done, at the outset of ensuring you spend time like selecting the voice that you're really excited about. Or if you want to clone your own voice and have your own voice narrate the book, that takes a bit of time. So I would say like voice selection, and then kind of going through and, making some adjustments. So that's kind of on the one end. On the other end, we have creators who treat this as like a really in-depth process where they're like creating an audio narrative or an audio story that might be more akin to like an audio drama.
Yeah.
So there's one creator named Dave who we work with and whose work we're publishing on 11 Reader, who recently created this sci-fi drama called Zephyrus 1. And it's unbelievable what he's created. It's a real labor of love and time, but he's used ElevenLabs to essentially take sound effects and music and narration of lots of different characters to bring this sci-fi drama that he wrote to life over, it's 14 different chapters. So it's a series. And so it's really unbelievable what he's created. And it's exciting as I've chatted with him about it. Just, it's not something that he would have been able to produce with hiring tons of actors and musicians and sound effects and all of that. But he had a really creative idea for a story that he wanted to tell. And he's an audio engineer. And so he wanted to bring it to life through audio, of course, and create that audio drama. And so he was able to use that using ElevenLabs tools.
Amazing.
So I love that. And it's going to be available on 11 Reader soon. So we'll be dropping it week by week.
Is that one of the ones we can have an example of?
Yeah, I'll send over an example so you can listen to it. There's another great example of, we recently, about a couple months ago, published on 11 Reader it was the first chapter of The Wizard of Oz, created and kind of re-envisioned with Judy Garland's voice clone narrating the chapter, who's one of our iconic voices in our licensed voice library, with music and sound effects. And it's kind of this new and interesting way to listen to that first chapter and also just get a glimpse of what you can do if you really spend a lot of time mastering and learning how to use ElevenLabs for like full audio production with music and sound effects. So really runs the gamut, I would say, from authors who just want to have their book in audio, perfect some of the, slight pauses and tones and emphasis, but for single cast narration, all the way through to people who want to, fully create something with, music and sound effects and multicast and all of that.
Yeah, amazing. When it comes to like using multicast, is there any differences in the process? Like, for example, is there a different royalty process or anything like that? Or is it just, you just use the voices, it just takes more time to edit it and then you put it out there?
Yeah, it's just the latter. So you'll want to spend more time like going through the voice library and selecting voices that you're excited about for different characters. So in the ElevenLabs voice library, there's 6,000 or more voices that are real people's voices who they've uploaded to the library. They earn anytime their voice clone is used. So you can use any of those voices, and it ranges like lots of different dialects and 30 or more different languages, different tones, different character voices. Can you name it? There's a lot to explore within the voice library. And then you can also actually design your own voice. So if you have an idea in your mind of a specific character voice or, something that you're not finding in the voice library, you can design it yourself and bring, a new voice to life with a prompt. Yeah. So there's a lot of different options there. And so if you're creating with multicast, you'll just want to spend more time kind of digging into that and finding a voice that you're excited about. And I'd say when you're producing an audiobook, probably the single most important thing is the voice that you select. It can, depending on if you choose a high quality voice or not, it can really change the final output. And so I would recommend spending a lot of time, the bulk of your time kind of at the outset, picking a voice you're really excited about, testing it on maybe a chapter or a paragraph, making sure you're really happy with the output before you then decide to apply it to the full book if you're creating with that original audio option.
Do you ever, when you're deciding which voices to use, apart from using your own imagination about what voices you'd like to hear, is there any way of seeing like stats or anything like that about the ones which are more popular? Do you have any voices which do better than others in different genres or anything like that?
Yeah, so within the voice library, there's a lot of filters that you can select for. So there are some collections that have been actually put together by our team specific to like best voices for audiobook narration, for example, or best character voices if you want like a monster voice or things like that. There's also, you can see their filters for like trending voices. You can rank them by number of uses. And so you can get a sense of like which ones perform really well and people tend to come back to again and again. So there's a lot that you can do to sort of customize the voice library and make sure that you're picking something that's going to work well. And then as you go through, you can sort of add voices to your own library and you can create different collections and really curate and find, voices that you're excited about.
Amazing. It's absolutely incredible, the technology. It's kind of mind-blowing, I think.
Yeah, the voice library is really cool. I just love like going through there and checking out different voices, seeing what's been added, and it continues to grow and grow as more people upload their voices to the voice library to earn from it. And as we also build out our kind of network of iconic voices from celebrity and partners like that who have recognizable voices who make it available on 11 Reader and for ElevenLabs customers.
That's the best one, really, isn't it?
Yeah, Michael Caine is great. And we also actually just released Albert Einstein on 11 Reader, so that's a fun one.
As soon as you get Morgan Freeman, that's going to be game over.
Yeah. That would be great.
So a lot of the audience of this podcast are romance writers. How does the audiobook handle like more, sexy scenes?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's not much that changes. Like, there's probably a bit more care that you'll want to put towards making sure the emotion sounds how you want it to sound. So I would like listen through to specific scenes and make sure it's conveying the right thing. And there's a lot you can do to like add spaces or capitalize certain words if you want it to be more emotive. You can also like select different voices if you want like a whispery voice or things like that, certain areas. But you should be able to any content that you want produced, you can have produced unless the voice that you've selected prohibits it for some reason. And that will be clearly labeled. The other thing I would note for the romance audience is for the first time, kind of dual POV is really attainable because you can just, if you have like alternating chapters, you can do that very easily with selecting different voices for different chapters. Or if you want kind of a multicast back and forth between, the two love interests, you can do that too. And we've seen that be very popular for romance specifically. So that's something that you can do with the audiobooks product within 11 Creative.
And the other thing was a lot of people also listen to this that they're fantasy authors. So sometimes they have quite unusual sounding names and words or like magic spells and things like that. If you wanted to get a particular pronunciation and make sure that was correct, how would you handle that in the audio?
Yeah, so there's a pronunciation dictionary that's built in. And so at the top of the editor, you'll see the pronunciation dictionary, and you can go through and add words that, you might want to give special care to how they're pronounced, or it seems like the AI would probably pronounce it wrong. And so you can put like the word, how it would be written in text, and then how you would actually want it to be pronounced phonetically spelled out. And then it should kind of every time it sees the word written that way, because it's been added to your pronunciation dictionary, it should kind of, pronounce it the way that you've directed it to pronounce. Doesn't always work perfectly 100% of the time. And so this is an area that we're continuing to invest more in making sure that, that works well. And so I would say like definitely try it. It will work a lot of the time, but it's not going to be perfect. And we know that and are trying to fix it to make it better.
A lot of the listeners to the podcast are fantasy authors as well. So they have some quite unusual like names, magic spells, places to pronounce. So how does 11Labs handle those specific pronunciations and make sure they get them correct?
Yeah, so there's a pronunciation dictionary that's at the top of the editor. You'll see a little button for pronunciation dictionary. And so what you can do is you can add any words that you think might be pronounced wrong by the AI. And you can put the text of how the word is spelled and how it would show up in the manuscript. And then you put the phonetic pronunciation for how you actually would want it pronounced. And so that will, across the whole text, apply the correct pronunciation anytime it encounters a word that you've added to the pronunciation dictionary. It works pretty well. I would say it doesn't work 100% of the time. And so in some cases, you might, as you're listening back, find the pronunciation dictionary is just really not capturing this exactly how I want it to. There are a couple other things you can do. There is a feature where you can direct the speech with your own voice. So you can kind of click on a word that's being particularly pesky, and you could like record how you want it pronounced, and then the AI will do its best to kind of replicate what you've verbalized, and usually that should resolve the problems. But I think this, the pronunciations piece and QAing little things where that the AI might not have perfected on the first go. This is where we're investing lots of resources because we want to make sure that it's as seamless and as easy as possible. And there aren't too many times that you have to actually go in and manually fix things.
Yeah, nice. What are the biggest mistakes that you see sort of first-time authors making when they're creating their audiobooks?
Yeah, so I think the first is if you're doing the original audio option, you really want to make sure that you go into it with this expectation that it's probably going to take you more than 5 minutes to just like simply upload the text and, receive an output that you're really excited about. So if you know that you really want to direct the performance of it, just go in with the expectation it'll probably take you about equivalent at least to like the duration of the book. And it might take you longer. But I think if you go in with that expectation, you should be in a good spot. And then you'll really want to spend time ensuring that you find a really high quality voice that you're excited about at the outset. And if you pick a good voice, a lot of the work is taken care of for you. So you'll just have to fix kind of small things here and there.
Yeah, I mean, you at least want to be listening to manuscripts, like as you're doing it, sure.
Yeah, exactly. You'll just kind of have to listen through as you go. At least like one pass I would recommend if you really want to ensure that you're happy with how every word and every sentence is pronounced. If you know that that's not for you and you just kind of want to get your books out there streamed with audio, I recommend doing the 11 reader dynamic narration option. It's super fast. It's easy. It's free. It will stream the audio on the user's device. And while you won't get like full control over the output, it does a really good job streaming high quality audio. And yeah, users can select from the high quality voices on their own device. So just kind of go into it, know which path you want, and adjust your expectations accordingly.
Nice.
And make sure if you're doing the first option, you pick a good voice.
Yeah, to pick the right voice for what you're doing. I mean, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, when the first time I tried to upload a book to ElevenLabs to do the audiobook, I just wanted to experiment, see if I could one-shot it and like publish it straight to 11 Reader, and I got rejected for quality issues. What are those quality issues that they're looking for that would stop a book being able to go forward?
Yeah, so I think on 11 Reader, the things that they'll look for, it's pretty flexible, so you shouldn't get rejected too much of the time. It's things like if you forget to delete the table of contents from the beginning, we'll ask you to go back and edit it because it's a bad experience for the end consumer if then like the table of contents is being read aloud for the first 5 minutes of the book. So it's kind of small formatting, things like that. But otherwise, like as long as you've formatted the text correctly and you've included a cover image that's high quality, then you should generally be fine and your work should get accepted unless we see any copyright issues or things like that.
Yeah, how does the copyright work? So do you own the copyright once you've created it?
Yeah, so anything that you create on ElevenLabs is yours. You own the copyright. If it's published on 11 Reader, you own the copyright. There's no exclusivity or anything like that. And you're free to do whatever you want with your book. If you want to create an audio and put it on other platforms, you're welcome to do that.
Nice. And I just want to talk a bit about distribution as well before we finish. So we've already sort of half covered 11 Reader, but I think it's quite a new concept, 11 Reader, to a lot of people. Like I've only heard about it relatively recently, and I'm like quite in this. How does publishing on 11 Reader work, and what does the royalty and payments process look like?
Yeah. So 11 Readers, newer within ElevenLabs. It's our consumer audiobook app. And the vision with 11 Reader is to bring great stories to life in any language and to make it really, really easy and seamless and accessible for anyone to take an ebook and to have it streamed anywhere in the world with high quality audio. And so we do that. We have tons of content in there from publishers, from authors. And then we also give users the ability to upload their own content for personal listening. So if you've got an article you want to read, or if you're an author and you're in the drafting phase and you just want to listen back to a chapter that you've written, you can do that on the 11 Reader app. So it's kind of an app for listening to audio, whether it's things that you've uploaded yourself and you want to listen back, or accessing and experiencing content from our library from publishers and authors. And so how that works for authors, if you upload your content onto 11 Reader, it's non-exclusive. You can put it anywhere else that you'd like. You'll earn anytime it's listened to by our Ultra users. So those are our subscribed users, and you earn 25 cents per hour if an Ultra user listens to your content. And then you can also set your books for sale directly, and you'll earn 60% on all direct sales. And so these are some of the most favorable rates across the industry. There's also no exclusivity. And so we really just want to make it as easy as possible for authors to share their audiobooks with anyone around the world. So that's what we're doing with 11 Reader. And yeah, it's a great author community. Would love for as many of your listeners to add their books onto 11 Reader, because we'd love to promote them and share them with our audience.
And that's any type of books?
Yeah, any type of book, anything you want to upload, as long as you own the copyright for the text, you can upload it and share it on 11.
Nice. And with the distribution to other platforms, is it just a case of like downloading your content and then uploading it to like Spotify or Kobo or whatever?
Yeah. So if you produce within the audiobooks platform and you use your ElevenLabs credits to create an original audiobook, you can upload that original audio to 11 Reader, but you can also upload it to Spotify. We have a direct integration there. or you can upload it to, we've got a integration within Audio, so that will send it to a bunch of different platforms, or you can download it yourself and you can put the MP3 or the WAV file wherever you want.
Yeah. And one question I get asked the most is, obviously people want to get their books promoted like on Amazon as well. Can you at the moment use your ElevenLabs voices on Amazon if you've made the audiobook?
So that you would have to check with Amazon's policies. So we don't have a direct integration, and I'm not sure the current status of whether they accept ElevenLabs voices. I think in the past they've only accepted Amazon AI voices, and so that one you just have to check Amazon's policies.
Yeah. We need to fix that one. So that was the last question I wanted to ask about was when you're creating the multicast and the duet style narrations, is it just a case of choosing two different voices and making sure that they're speaking in the right parts, or is there a way of making that faster?
Sorry, I don't think I understand the question.
So when we're creating like multicast and like duet style like audiobooks, how do you select which parts are going to be read by which author? Is it just
yeah. Okay, if you start over the question, I can answer now.
So the last one I wanted to talk about was the multicast and the duet style books, because they're obviously the most expensive ones to create if you're using real like narrators. Is it just a case of like choosing which parts you want to be spoken by which person?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways to do it. Actually, when you upload your manuscript, if you want it to be multicast, we have an option for you to toggle identify different speakers and assign different voices to the different speakers. And so the system will do its best to understand who is which character and who's speaking what lines. And then you can pick, say you have two different voices, 'cause there's two characters, you can pick the voices that you want, and it will kind of in one go try to do its best to apply the right voices on different characters. You'll probably have to go through and correct some stuff. So that's one option. Or if you want to do it yourself, what you do is you just highlight. When you highlight text, you can select different voices to be applied to the highlighted text. And then, you can highlight full swaths. So say you want to do it chapter by chapter, you would select this full chapter is going to be read by this voice. And then you would apply, the voice that you want for that chapter to the chapter. And you can do that on a chapter by chapter basis or by highlighting the text itself.
Yeah. Nice. Well, I think that's everything I wanted to cover today. The last thing is just if you were to give one piece of advice about creating these audiobooks to authors that are just starting out creating audiobooks, what would be the best piece of advice you could give them?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is just try it. It's super low stakes. It's really easy. If you want to just upload it directly to Eleven Reader, just to sort of wade into the water of what's it like to have an audiobook and to see how your audience resonates with audiobooks, that would be my first piece of advice. Just give it a go. And then second piece is come back to the voices piece if you're thinking about creating an original audiobook. I really recommend you spend some time playing around with the voice library, and seeing all of the different options on there as you start to think about what you want your audiobook to sound like. Yeah, make sure you pick a really good voice that you're excited about so that you can, I messed that one up. Sorry. Can you ask them? I actually need to think about better advice. I don't even know. Do you have any good advice from doing it?
I think just keep it simple and listen back was my main thing. Don't just try and one shot it, because that is when your problems are that I found the most problems. It was I think what a lot of people do with their AI writing is get really lazy and start leaning on the AI too much. And they go, okay, well, now I'm writing with AI, I've forgotten how to write. So the last question is really, have you got any advice for people who are wanting to narrate their book, for the first time, for their first time authors, they want to get their book narrated using ElevenLabs? What's the one piece of advice you'd try and give them?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest thing is I would say if you want to do the original audio option, make sure you have an idea in your head of what you want it to sound like, and spend time, investing in looking through the voice library and picking a voice you're excited about. And I would really recommend going through and listening to the whole book. If you're expecting that you're just going to one shot it and get this MP3 that you're really, really excited about, that's probably not correct. So really invest the time and the care to create something that you feel really proud of. And if you spend a bit of time up front, I think you'll be really happy with the results. So that's number one. And then number two, I would say just try it. If you're not sure if you want to spend the time, or, you're you're wondering if you should create an audiobook, I would recommend like log on, do the upload directly to 11 Reader option. It's free. It's super easy. You can have your books available in audio, and you can get a sense of if it's something your audience even, wants to hear in audio. And then, sorry, I feel like I'm doing a really bad job answering this question. Maybe
what you said sounds good. I think that was a good answer. I mean, to be honest, I agree with everything you're saying. I think, if you do try and one-shot it, like I would never call my listeners lazy, but a lot of people who ask me about AI writing, they sort of end up seeing it as a bit of a crutch to lean on. But I think you've still got to remember that you're the author. You've created this work, and you want to put it out there in the best possible way. So I think,
okay, can you do
your
one more
advice.
time, and I'll say that.
Yeah, of course.
You've got a better answer than me. Okay. Thanks.
So for people, just for the last question, so for people who are, maybe it's their first time doing an audiobook and they want to use ElevenLabs to do the narration, what's the one piece of advice you would try and give them?
Yeah, I think so. If you're looking to like fully direct the performance of your audiobook using the original audio option, I would just make sure that you spend time, picking the right voice and making sure you listen through to the whole thing so that you're really, proud and pleased of the outcome. You're the author, you want to bring this story into the world. And so just spending a bit of time up front to ensure you produce something really great, I think is the best piece of advice that I can give. But yeah, really excited. Hopefully a lot of you try it out. We're excited to hear what you create and what you publish. And please do reach out to me or to Teddy to share with us the audiobooks that you've created using ElevenLabs. And if you've published on 11 Reader, we'd love to see them there. And so best of luck.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the advice I would give. When I first used it for the first time, the output that came out straight away was really incredible. But until you listen through, add the breaks, make sure that it's as you want it, it kind of would miss maybe the exact output that you'd want to get from it. I think you have to remember you're the author, you're using AI as a tool, not as someone to just completely replace you. I think that would be the main advice I'd give with using it. But yeah, it's really clever, it's really quick, and it works pretty much straight out of the box.
Yeah. And that resonates with me a lot. Like we see this, and I totally see this as like a tool that can amplify your work and help you reach new audiences, help more people engage with what you've spent so much time writing and producing and what you're really proud of. And so just spending the time to make sure you're really using it as a tool is, and investing in that process, I think is going to be the thing that gets you the best results.
Definitely. What are just the last question? What are the typical book prices for producing an audiobook? What's the range we're looking at?
Yeah, so if you want to just upload it to 11 Reader and stream it with audio, with dynamic narration, that's totally free. So free, you'll upload it, and then you will earn anytime it's listened or purchased. If you want to create your own kind of original audio production, that ranges typically from $100 to $200 for a full-length book. It's based on how many ElevenLabs credits that you use, which is based on how long the book is. So longer books will cost slightly more, shorter books will cost less. And so you can make an ElevenLabs account. You'll have to get a subscription to start off, but then you'll be charged based on the overall amount of credits that you use.
Yeah. It's a lot cheaper than doing it with a narrator or something.
Yeah. I mean, $100 to $200 for a full book is $10 per finished hour, something like that. So $10 to $20 per finished hour for a 10-hour book. So it's much cheaper than anything else that you could do.
Yeah, amazing. Well, thanks so much, Madeline. It's been so good having you on. If people want to get in touch with you or with ElevenLabs generally, where's the best place for them to do that?
Yeah, feel free to reach out. Can find us on, if you want to talk to the 11 Reader team specifically, you can email us at reader@elevenlabs.io. That's probably the best place to get in touch about anything specific to authors and audiobooks. And yeah, we're really looking forward, most importantly, to seeing what everyone creates. And please do share with us via email or also on Twitter. Or on Facebook. We have a Facebook group called Authors of ElevenLabs that I'll send you so you can link in the show notes. But please do join that. And that's a great place also to share your work with others in the community.
And if any of you do create an audiobook after listening to this, share it with me and I'll definitely repost it for you.
Yeah. Please do. There's a great community of authors. So please do join and share with us what you create.
Great. Well, thanks, Madeline. It's been great chatting and you'll speak again soon.
Yeah, thanks, Teddy. This is great.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Publishing Performance Show. I really hope you found today's episode inspiring. I absolutely love chatting to authors, writers, and people in the publishing world. Now, just before we wrap up, I want to tell you about our Publishing Performance Starter Packs. These are curated episodes and collections organised by topic that makes it super easy to find the exact content you're looking for. So whether you're wanting to deep dive into marketing strategies, explore productivity techniques, or focus on any specific area of publishing, we've organised our episodes into targeted playlists just for you. And you can find these all at teddyagsmith.com. And also, whilst you're here, let me tell you about Publishing Performance. It's the #1 platform for authors who want to increase Amazon book sales but aren't really sure where to start. Now, this show is all about helping you to sell more books, and if you're looking to boost your publishing game and to maximise your book's potential on Amazon, then Publishing Performance is designed to help authors just like you to grow your readership and to reach a much wider audience. Now, I know that Amazon ads can be slightly complicated, which is why Publishing Performance is like having a personalised ad account manager to create your ad campaigns for you, to choose your best keywords and to make adjustments in real time and to optimise them over time to save you money and to make more sales. Now, if you're investing in ads, you really want to make sure your investment is being used effectively, and Publishing Performance does just that. It aims to make your budget go further, improve your organic rank, and target keywords more effectively. You can get started with Amazon ads for free for 30 days at publishingperformance.com, and there's a link in the show notes to get that free 30 days trial.